There he is. How you feeling, my man? You feeling good?
I feel vindicated. Oh, I feel.
Oh yeah.
Vindicated.
Why is that?
I just went, deep down. I like to be professional. I feel like I'm a professional person, but deep down, I'm sensitive and petty. So I just went back and found a tweet that I sent on September 18th after we watched the man throw for 460 yards, 470 yards, and 6 touchdowns. I said, Tua is him. Some of y'all need to apologize. I was called an idiot. I was called a prisoner of the moment. I was called, wrong, bad at my job. Said I was going to have to apologize. If you look at what was just on the field today and you still tell me this man's not him, we don't got nothing else to talk about. We have nothing else to talk about.
No, I know.
This
well,
is
trust me, I was doing it.
NFL
I was doing it for the last 2 years, not even this year. For the last 2 years, I was telling everybody he's the guy and everything else around him is wrong. And trust me, I took a beating for 2 years. So I am enjoying unloading on everybody nowadays. So it's all good. I understand where you're coming from because I've been fighting the fight for a while because I was convinced that he was the guy. I'm just glad for him that he gets to, kind of redeem himself too at the same time. And listen, we all want to work in an environment that allows us to excel. And that's the beauty of what Mike McDaniel has created for everyone, his coaches, what Chris Greer has created for his personnel department and for the coaches and for all the players. If from top to bottom, that's one of the things that I think has allowed them all to succeed. When you guys were asking this week, McDaniel, about, he was talking about how all their offices are close to each other and how everything's kind of designed for them to kind of connect a lot. All of those things I think has really paid off for this team at all levels, from the front office to the coaches to the players.
And look, I think that in sports, and it's not just football, in team sports, period, people are too willing to give one person either all of or most of the credit. We always want to say, like, this was Tom Brady's team. No, it was Bill Belichick's team. No, it's Pat Mahomes. No, it's Tyreek Hill. No, it's Andy Reid. No, it's the. I think that we, the sports world, have to do a better job of equally distributing the credit and recognizing that sometimes they're not BSing us, and it really does take a multiple person effort to get a team where it needs to be. I think McDaniel gets a ton of credit for assembling the right staff, or for assembling a staff that can extract the most out of its players, putting players in position to succeed, learning his guys quick enough to start the season running and really be humming. Now, as we hit start to approach the final stretch of the year, he deserves that for changing the culture in this locker room, because people said he couldn't, right? People said, who is this 5'7", nerdy looking Silicon Valley guy? How is he going to get a locker room of big football playing men to respect him when he can't even see over them? Like, it was borderline disrespectful. And look what he's done now. They play for this man. Oh yeah. They play for this man. Oh yeah. Down 21, down 14, down to, it doesn't matter when, they play for this guy.
Yeah.
End of story. Tua deserves credit for sharpening up his game, because while I wasn't ready to bury Tua after year 2, it was still abundantly clear he had areas he needed to improve. He wasn't perfect coming out of year 2. He needed to sharpen up, and he needed to sharpen up throwing off platform. He needed to sharpen up his decision making, when to say die in a certain play.
Yes.
He deserves credit for cleaning up in all 3 areas. I've got a piece coming out. It's either going to come out tonight or tomorrow, listing areas where Tua has specifically improved from last season, where he is among league leaders in efficiency stats. I think when you read these things, it's going to be hard to say he shouldn't be a top 2 or 3 MVP candidate right now. It'll be hard to argue against it. It's impossible, actually, to argue against it. Yeah. And then, of course, Tyreek Hill deserves credit for getting open, for being Tyreek Hill. Waddle deserves credit. Like, everybody deserves.
Yeah. But Trent Sherfield proves that he's also dead ass accurate. It doesn't matter who you are. The Waddle play is not on Waddle, the one on the sideline. the more
Yeah,
amazing part was the throw.
great
You
pass.
better
It was
catch that
yeah.
goddamn ball where he throws it. I don't care who you are, where he put it was the only place you could catch it, and the defender can't. The Sherfield stuff, to me, that's what makes Tua Tua. You know, even the Gesicki ball that was an incomplete, he put it right there for Gesicki to catch it. Unfortunately, couldn't come down to it. You got to give credit to the DB. He made a play on the ball and fine, but you know, the bottom line is he puts it in places where everyone can catch it. Doesn't matter who you are, but Waddle and obviously Hill are, you know, they're just special talents, man.
You know what Tua is looking like over the past few weeks. Some quarterbacks are playing against the defense. You know what I'm saying? And hear me out here. Some quarterbacks are playing against the defense. They're looking for open spots. They're looking for ways to beat them. They're knocking on the door throughout the game and hopefully getting through sometimes. Tua looks like a defense is playing against him right now. If you watch like a Pat Mahomes play, defenses are trying to stop Pat Mahomes, not necessarily the other way around. Defenses are looking like, we have to stop this guy. We have to figure out how to slow this guy down. Tua knows he's like, I'm going here, I'm going here, I'm doing this, that, this, stop it.
Right. Yeah, they're trying to decipher what they're doing. And, you know, credit to the color guy today. Who was the color guy today on TV? Can anybody tell me? Because it certainly wasn't Archuleta, right? Was that the BB guy or the
No,
the
it was Adam Archuleta.
It was Archuleta? Wow. That was Archuleta. Wow, he changed his tune from being a complete Tua hater to a complete Tua lover. Like, wow, what a phony that guy is. Wow. So that was the flip-flopper now. So Adam Archuleta now is La Chancleta, the flip-flopper. Okay. All right. Anyway, but I got to give him credit because he was talking about how Miami attacks the middle of the field more than any other team and that it is so hard because obviously it's a dangerous thing, but yet the way McDaniel, you know, designs everything and then the way Tua can anticipate everything, it just becomes a deadly combination. And so I can understand what you're saying that defenses are trying to decipher what this code is on offense right now.
Like when you watch, and I want to be careful with these comparisons. So, you know, don't come away from this saying Marcel called to a Aaron Rodgers. He called to a Tom Brady. He called him one of the greatest of all time. It's just a similarity in how they play. But when teams play Tom Brady and when Tom is clicking, Tom knows exactly where the hell he's going with that football every single time. Defenses are reacting to Brady, not the other way around. That is what I'm seeing from Tua right now here in week 10. He is dictating the game. He's dictating the game, not reacting to it, not trying to go, you know, make it up as he goes along. Of course, he still has to read the defense and he goes through his progressions. I'm not saying he doesn't do that or he's locking into one, but it feels like he's controlling the pace right now. He looks as comfortable as I've ever seen him, and he continues to set that bar higher and higher every week. It's again, we're 10 weeks into the season now. We're 10 games into the season now. I think this is real. There's no more wait till he does,
today,
wait till he plays, wait until.
And today, Marcel, it took 10 weeks, but today was the first time you saw Mike McDaniel's real offense. What you had seen the 9 weeks prior was him adjusting to a team that can't run on a consistent basis. Today, since they could run on a consistent basis and they were gouging them, this is the offense he would like to run. It may not be a favorite of Tyreek when it's all said and done at times, but really, this is actually more like what he wants to run. If he could do this, this would be his magical game. And as I mentioned in the post-game show here, this is the best thing for Tua also because it calms down that front. It keeps the linebackers on their heels. They can't attack the same way because they've really got to worry about the run. And then your play action for a guy like him that he's already he is an elite passer, by the way. I'm sorry. I don't care what anybody tells me. I'm not telling you he's an elite quarterback. He's an elite passer. When we talk about accuracy, anticipatory skills, and ball placement, he's elite. When you can do that with a running game, that shit is dangerous.
Yes,
okay?
that was my takeaway. I don't know if anybody's been able to read my takeaway and biggest question
from
this game.
I've been on the air.
It was right, the very first sentence. What is a defense supposed to do when the Dolphins can run the ball for 190 yards? What is the defense supposed to do when Jeff Wilson goes for 119 and Raheem Mostert's going for 70 on 8 carries? And you still have to, and that's before you deal with Tua, Tyreek, Waddle. Like, what are you supposed to do at that level? What we just saw in that stadium right there, if they do that every week, there's not a defense in the league that stops that team. There's not a defense in the league that can stop them when they run the ball that efficiently. And it's Jeff Wilson deserves, man. Jeff Wilson deserves a lot of credit as well. I think that I tweeted about it earlier today. I think Mostert and Edmonds, while both talented players, I think they offer a little too similar of a skill set. For that backfield to really have thrived. I think Wilson's downhill style, the no nonsense, the run through a MF face, like Marshawn said, I think it has changed. It has changed this offense for the better. It has changed this backfield for the better. It's and not to say he's not shifty too, man. He put a Euro step on somebody to get a first down there, and I think either the second or fourth quarter.
Yeah,
like, this man can play ball, man. Like, I know everybody got really excited about Duke Johnson last year when he came off waivers and was a couple. I think he was like the 5th leading rusher in the NFL through the last 5 weeks of the season, and then talking about he needs another shot next year. This and that. This guy actually deserves to be re-signed this summer. He really deserves to be in that backfield next year. He deserves to be in the long-term plan if he keeps this level of play up. He was always
by the way, folks.
In San Francisco.
By the way, tell him because prorated, he costs like $275,000 for the year for the Dolphins.
Yeah, cheap, man. It's the Kyle Shanahan running back system, right? What did I say? What did I say earlier? What were the 3 keys? Young, cheap, productive. He hits on all 3. Hits on all 3. And this way you don't have to spend one of those draft picks. You don't have to spend one of those draft picks on a running back. You don't have a first rounder anymore, so Bijan Robinson is out of the question. You might be able to slide on a Blake Corum in maybe the 2nd round, 3rd round. But at this, what's the point? What's the point of these guys? Like, I don't know. It depends on who is there. And, I'm getting a little far ahead of myself talking draft right now in November, but Wilson has just been a revelation. Chubb, obviously, that trade, and we saw why they traded for Bradley Chubb today. You saw it in 4K.
Yeah.
You saw it in 4K. It came in spurts against Chicago. He was a menace today.
Well, he had the London legs and all that last week. This week, he was able to sleep in a bed for a whole week, practice under the same system with guys, get a little bit more comfortable. So he'll look better and better as the season goes on. Hopefully Ogba's injury isn't serious and they can get him back for the Houston game, because then that, you want to have as many pass rushers as possible. All right, one more thing before I let you go. If you're Chris Greer and company, do you go searching for a kicker on Tuesday?
I think it's about that time. What did I say last week? That look, he's going to get one more week before the bye. The 39 points distracted a little bit from the fact that he missed 2 extra points. Yeah. You got to have it's getting to that point. It's getting to that point. You can't.
He's unreliable, unfortunately. Yeah. I get it. You're struggling. You're struggling with the 50+, but now you're doing this. No, bro. No. It's got to change. So, all right, you're with me there. All right, what are you working on ESPN so folks can check you out, my friend?
Gonna have a running back story, a run game story for the bye week. Like I said, got the Tua story coming. If it's not out already, it'll probably drop tomorrow. Again, just a lot of statistical output. It's a lot of getting back to what I feel like I'm personally good at, which is finding stats to support arguments. And then I'm chilling, bro. New Warzone 2 drops on Wednesday, and there's no availability after Tuesday, man. It's about time.
Yeah, but your ass better be alert on Tuesday, because that's when they'll bring in the kickers, as you know. So be awake on Tuesday before your what is it, Battle Zone? What is it? What the hell you're playing?
It's Warzone. It's
Warzone.
Biggest video game in the world, possibly. And I'm sure the Dolphins will do something. They'll do something to ruin my days off. to interrupt my days off, I'm sure.
What are you
But
talking about? They're bettering your job by giving you an entertaining team to talk about. One that the folks at ESPN are going to say, we got to go down to Marcel more often. And so you're going to get more TV time thanks to Tua. So don't complain, my brother, okay? Be happy because you're going all the way to Arizona with the Miami Dolphins. And one night during that week, you can come on over to our pad and we're going to have a party. So.
You know, that's not my hometown per se, but I did go to Arizona State. I set records at Arizona State, so it would be somewhat of a homecoming. I would love this. I would be remiss if I didn't mention too, and everybody can drink here based on Big O's game from last week. You remember when the joke was, "You're not good. This team's not good. They lost to the Jets." Oh, this team's not a Super Bowl contender. They're in third place. Who is in third place right now with a loss to the Jets?
The Bills.
Not Miami.
It's the Bills.
Not the Jets.
It's the Bills.
It's tough, man. That's tough.
Right. But who's number one? Who's number one?
It's at 7-3. The Miami Dolphins.
That guy's number one, and his team is number one. And he's the number one passer in the NFL. And he's going to end up with the number one team in February when he wins the Super Bowl, because it's all about Uno championship coming up, baby.
Look, when the talk was, this is after the Chubb trade, the Dolphins are all in, they're Super Bowl contender, they're this and that. I wasn't. It's not that I didn't believe that they could do it, but that wasn't my initial reaction. My initial reaction was, like I've said, it's a philosophical change for this defense. It's them shifting their attention or their focal point from the secondary to the front seven in an attempt to right the ship. This isn't them pushing all their chips in and mortgaging their future. Obviously, they signed him to a long-term contract. He's going to impact their future. But that wasn't my initial reaction. Wasn't like, oh my God, Super Bowl or bust right now. Today, yeah, I'm willing. If that's the Dolphins team that we see every week, that's one of the best teams in the NFL. That's a top 3, 4, 5 team in the NFL. If they're top 5, then it ain't 5. If that's the effort that they can turn in every single week, that is more like the defense that they hope to carry over from 2021. And if that defense plays every week, if they put 15 pressures on Jacoby Brissett today, I want to say 3 sacks, a forced fumble, defensive backs dislodging the ball, jarring the ball loose. If that's what they play, because we know what they're going to get on offense, we know that level of consistency is always going to be there, then this is a Super Bowl contender, legitimate Super Bowl contender, man. I'm ready to say it.
Okay. By the way, Mr. Video Game, what do you think about Darth? Or I'm sorry, what is it? It's
Darth Vader.
Darth Vader, yeah. Look at him putting away the lightsaber. Is that awesome or what? Huh?
Yeah, he was. I didn't get to see him in the locker room today.
Look at that, and puts away the lightsaber. That is just Darth Vader. That is awesome.
Like I've been saying, and I tweeted it today. I don't see a reason. I don't see a way the Dolphins bring back Byron on this current contract next year.
Oh, no, of course. He's done.
With Cater playing like he is because of, again, what's the big 3? Young, cheap, productive.
Right.
Cater is all 3.
Right.
Young, cheap, productive.
Let's be honest now. Everybody was hung on to because they were screwed because of Flo, the dumbass that wanted Brissett over Tua. Anyway, because of the dumbass and his last 2 years, he dwarfed the development of the offense and the quarterback. So they had to kind of bum rush this shit this year and keep everybody. They probably would have made a trade. But if you would have had Mike McDaniel from year 1 with Tua, by year 3, I guarantee you one of those 2 corners, and it's probably X, would not be on the team already. They would have traded. But the problem is they had to hang on to everybody, and then they had to add because they had to say, we got to make a run. We got to try. We got to figure out if Tua's the guy so we know from here on out because we've got to pay him right around the corner. And what are we going to do? Cut a guy, and then he's going to go ball out somewhere else? So they were almost in an all-in mode this year because of what had happened the last 2 years of not being able to develop an offense and figure out who's who. And so now this year, now they found out who's who. So now, for sure, Byron Jones is the guy that doesn't come back, and X probably comes back for one more year. Yeah, I can see that.
X is bad. That's not in question. That's not in question. Like I said, it's according to Spotrac, it's a $14 million dead cap hit in 2023 if he is cut before June 1st. It sounds bad. That sounds bad. Context matters. He was due, I think his cap hit would have been 18 some odd million. So it saves them $4 million next year. They're $5 million over the cap right now. That saves them $4 million. Or they can let him go. They can move him after June 1st. It's going to save them $14 million in 2023, but it'll count as $10 million against the cap in 2024. So it's a decision to make. But again, he already has restructured his contract to add the void years on the bottom of it or on the back end of it. I don't know if they can get him to restructure again, but that contract something has to happen to it because that current contract will not be on the Dolphins books as currently constructed in 2023. It will not be. It can't be.
Yeah. And I bet you he'll come back for a couple games so he can get something in for the offseason. I'm pretty sure of that. All right. Follow him on Twitter at Marcel_LJ. And don't forget Edge Energy Drink, the finest energy drink on the planet. 78 calories, delicious, smooth, and zero aftertaste. You can order it anywhere in the country. Go to myedgedrink.com. Can't get it in a store. And listen, 78 calories, delicious, smooth, and zero aftertaste. Look, see, Tua agrees. And as an elixir, oh, man, it makes my Grey Goose disappear. It is so awesome. myedgedrink.com. Use our code BIGO and save 10% off. Marcel, we'll catch up during the week, my friend. You'll be in twice a week during the week this week. So your schedule changes. All right, doggy. We'll talk. Be good. There you go. You now have the edge.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.